All right, gentlemen, we know the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. Let's keep this fight clean. Touch gloves if you wish. Let's do this.
Let's do this. Anticipation so high for this main event. Tony Ferguson trying to run his UFC winning streak to 9 and potentially realize his first title shot. The former champ Rafael Dos Anjos out to prove
Let's do it.
he can get his belt back. We are underway. Tony Ferguson is in white. Rafael Dos Anjos in yellow.
This could easily have been a title fight just a few months ago.
Right.
I mean, these two are so elite. This division is so stacked with talent. Right away, you see Ferguson keeping his distance, fighting long, knowing he has 6 inches. Let's see how RDA chooses to try and close the range. Big leg kick there from RDA.
Few kick harder at 155 pounds than Rafael Dos Anjos, who made a can change in advance of this fight tonight. Rafael Cordero no longer in his corner.
And that should be interesting, especially if this fight goes into the deeper rounds and you've got to make some audibles. You've got to go to plan B and plan C. How does his newfound corner do that?
Dos Anjos, the southpaw, you'll see a lot of stance switching from the unorthodox freestyle fighter Tony Ferguson.
Man, big left hand there for Rafael Dos Anjos, and he's definitely gotten his attention with those leg kicks. And there's an excellent takedown defense for Tony Ferguson, a lifelong wrestler. And one of the things in RDA's past fights, when he fights guys the level of Tony Ferguson, he typically does choose to wrestle more often. Anthony Pettis and Nate Diaz, he was very heavy on the wrestling in those fights. Can he take Tony Ferguson down repeatedly?
Ferguson just out of range with that counter right. Ferguson has been such a submission threat and successful striker in the UFC that you're right, people sleep on the fact that he does come in with wrestling credentials. 2-time collegiate All-American at Grand Valley State University.
And you don't want to stick your head, you shoot a bad shot on this kid and he's going to choke you out. You stick your head in there, not a good idea, but beautiful left-hand counter there from Dos Anjos.
He picked up some things on tape with Tony Ferguson. At times doesn't take advantage of the length.
And at times, especially when he pressures forward, he'll square his stance because he wants to threaten from both sides, wants to be creative. At times, that's when he's more hittable.
Elbow lands for Tony Ferguson. John Anik, Brian Stan, this is FS1 UFC Fight Night. Rafael Dos Anjos, Tony Ferguson engaging right now live in our 5-round main event. And it looked like Dos Anjos clipped Ferguson right behind the ear.
He did, but after eating a very nicely set up lead hand uppercut from Tony Ferguson that landed flush to the chin of Dos Anjos.
1-2.
Just over 2 minutes to go round 1.
Oh, again, another straight left counter. That leg kick of Tony Ferguson. He's eaten 2 now. Hard left hands from Dos Anjos.
Again, Dos Anjos landing here with conviction in the early going.
It's going to be really important to see Ferguson adjust. He pulls his kicks, get off the center line. Another nice counter there from Dos Anjos.
Now is where things could get really interesting.
Both of these guys, excellent grapplers, but 2 different styles. Dos Anjos more your standard Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu top pressure past the guard style. Tony Ferguson, 10th planet, lots of unorthodox moves there where he can go from a lot of things, a lot of different positions.
Ferguson using those limbs to get Dos Anjos off of him.
Able to create enough space and make it tough enough that Dos Anjos basically abandoned it.
Ferguson working nicely off of that jab. Dos Anjos returns one of his own.
Both of these guys so good. It's just consistently back and forth. Another nice leg kick though from Dos Anjos.
And if we do hit the championship rounds, of course the altitude and cardio bears watching. First 5-round fight for Ferguson inside the octagon. You see total strikes, slight edge for El Cucuy.
And chances are every single round of this fight is going to be closely contested. That's how evenly matched these guys are. And this is where Dos Anjos does his best work. When he traps you against the fence, he does well. And you can see immediately Ferguson picks up his footwork and gets creative there so he doesn't get stuck in one position.
Both guys landing spinning back fists within the last 30 seconds. Now Ferguson starting to increasingly find the range.
Not much said technically for Dos Anjos. You know, now we're working through a translator, but it didn't sound to me like there was anything, hey, we want to see more of this, that. All they said was lead with a jab and keep doing what you're doing. That's your fight. That's what we want to see you do. So not a whole lot technically that he could do more of. In the corner of Ferguson, they just said, hey, we want you to win this round. And they talked all in code, and they had code words for what they wanted to do. And right now, he's fighting and maximizing his reach, which is when he's at his best on the feet.
Ferguson landing in a furious clip here, early round 2. Starting to bust up the former UFC lightweight champ.
In his last fight against Lando Venata, you know, in the first round, he squared his stance, put a lot of pressure. He could be rocked here. I think he may have gotten buzzed, or he could have been rolling with the punches. But when he squares up, he can get hit. Second round against Venata, he used his range and his reach very hard to hit. Finish that fight.
Both guys look pretty sharp here in the early going.
And, you know, I think when Ferguson got hit with that punch, he was rolling with the punches and wasn't stunned. His legs are under him, his wits are there. Finger in the eye. Dean didn't see it, so he didn't stop it.
Was it a pump? Stop. You're asking him or not? No. Stop. Time.
Wow. Woo. We'll sort this all out.
We'll see if we can see it in the replay, but I get it with Ferguson, you know what I mean? The referee's got to stop you. Ferguson showed some class, though. He could have jumped all over him there. Oh, yeah, absolutely an eye poke there. And you can see Herb Dean's on the other side of Dos Anjos' head, so he doesn't see this, but yeah,
Tony,
you can see.
Right there, Tony. Tony, right there.
Not sure if it was Herb Dean who said, was that a poke or not?
He's fine.
Not sure.
Okay, he good. All right.
Dos Anjos really rubbing that eye hard.
Certainly inadvertent. We are back underway, under 4 minutes to go, round 2 of a possible 5. The belt in this division to be contested next Saturday night at UFC 205.
When Ferguson's got Dos Anjos where he wants him now, with his back against the fence, and every fake and feint Ferguson throws, he's getting a reaction out of it.
And normally a takedown attempt like that for Dos Anjos materializes. Ferguson not having it, stays upright.
Very hard to take down, and you just don't know how much you want to commit to the takedown attempts, because the deeper you put your head into his hip, the more likely he's going to start to set up a choke on you.
Pump that jab. There you go. Lead elbow, told you. Oh, shit. Otra. He's leaving it down. He's leaving that right arm down. Oh, yeah. Give me a feint. Go lead elbow, upper hook. Yeah. Nice. Again. Attack that leg. Attack that leg still. Good. Inside.
Ferguson doing a really nice job following through on those commands from Anthony Gonzalez, Eddie Bravo in his corner.
When you give Ferguson space, this is what you're going to get. When Dos Anjos had his most success in round 1, he was pressuring. You don't want to give Ferguson space. Don't let him be creative. Don't let him fake and feint and set things up. He will find openings on you. Oh, foot stomp.
And we wondered who would be more likely to change their strategy or their style here tonight. Dos Anjos was pressuring and advancing in round 1. Ferguson turning the tide in round 2.
Nice jab again from Ferguson. Some blood dripping from the nose of Dos Anjos now.
Under 2 minutes now to go in round 2.
And we're not seeing the typical Rafael Dos Anjos combinations where he throws. There's one where he'll throw 2, 3, 4 punches and a couple of kicks in there. I mean, he will rip them. Not seeing him as much right now because he's fighting going backwards.
And he would be wise to get away from the fence here as Ferguson continues to push the pace.
Ferguson's just got to be careful because some of the times when he's punching down a shorter fighter, his head's high and the chin is open. If a fighter rolls and slips the punches and comes with overhands or hooks, he can get caught.
Coming up immediately following this main event, highlights and analysis from all the action in Mexico City on the FS1 UFC Fight Night post-fight show. Coming up shortly here on FS1.
Nice left hand there from Dos Anjos. Ooh, that man rocked him. Straight left from Ferguson. Stunned Rafael Dos Anjos for a second.
Dos Anjos backing up into the fence. Ferguson continuing to land.
He's an excellent finisher. He'll rock you on the feet, submit you. He'll find a way. Dos Anjos is better recover quick.
31-17 advantage for Ferguson here in terms of the total strikes in round 2.
He's really finding a rhythm here.
His corner really emphasized the importance of this round, and Ferguson certainly obliging that imperative from Eddie Bravo and crew after round 1. Dos Anjos attacks the body there.
And he's landed several very hard body kicks. You see the inside of Dos Anjos' right knee is red and purple, also the calf. Ferguson doing a nice job attacking that.
Dos Anjos went orthodox for a split second there.
He's telling his corners what he's seeing.
Yeah.
He's smiling. He's in the zone right now. And you got to wonder, the corner of Dos Anjos, you know, he's absent his longtime coach, Rafael Cordero. Doesn't seem to be the same rhythm in that corner, the same concise message we're used to seeing for Rafael Dos Anjos.
Perhaps the opponent has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, absolutely it does. I mean, look at this. The attacks from both sides as he's going forward. Oh, beautiful, but lead, can't hold him. Scrambles right back to his feet.
So Tony Ferguson starting to take control of things here early round 3.
Still has to be careful though with those hands down around the chest marching forward. Dos Anjos has power, he's got excellent counters.
Just hard to know what's coming from Tony Ferguson. Hard to know which leg he's going to lead with. And again, when he uses that length to his advantage as he's doing tonight, he is dangerous, but Dos Anjos returning fire now.
And he landed 2 nice jabs and then that nice combination to the body as he pushed Tony Ferguson back. That's the key right now. Dos Anjos has got to get Ferguson backing up.
Spinning back fist followed by a spinning elbow from Ferguson.
I mean, and he missed a second before with that technique, goes right back to him. Not a lot of guys are that confident in their abilities to throw stuff like that consistently.
Get him leading with the elbow.
Yeah. Off the jab, to fake the jab, came up with an inverted elbow.
Mexico City crowd getting behind Tony Ferguson here. A win tonight would be the biggest of Ferguson's career. It would mean 9 in a row. He would certainly be hard to deny a UFC lightweight title shot. Ooh, head kick for Dos Anjos. Followed up by a big right hand.
Yeah, he's landing well here. He ate some too, though. I mean, it only seemed to get Ferguson mad.
I'd imagine it gets frustrating at times too. If you're Dos Anjos, you land significant shots and Ferguson barely winces.
It does, but I'll tell you what, this is a guy who's a veteran of 30 fights. He's been in there at the best. I think he knows if he lands that several times, I don't care how tough you are, it can knock you out.
Ferguson snaps Dos Anjos' head back with that left hand. Just remarkable to see where Ferguson has come since season 13, The Ultimate Fighter.
Just an exceptional athlete, totally different level. Even for me, I didn't retire that long ago, but we're just seeing more and more athletes of this level where so much more is achievable and acceptable to do in the octagon. Back in 2005, 2006, people wouldn't even think of throwing some of the techniques Ferguson throws out there. Big counter left hand there by Dos Anjos.
That might have been his biggest shot of the fight. He follows it up nicely, Drive. And Ferguson just continues to play mind games. Dos Anjos answering big here with less than 2 minutes to go in round 3.
Yeah, Dos Anjos find his own timing here. Landed some of his best shots of the fight. Vicious leg kick as well. I mean, this kid's never out of it.
Dos Anjos coming up on 9 years inside the octagon.
Oh! Ferguson's timing is so different, it's hard to anticipate him. But Dos Anjos is starting to get it now. Starting to catch him.
Ferguson's got some serious speed for a man of his size. Dos Anjos to the body.
And he rips that kick to the body. Vicious. Ferguson just keeps marching forward, man.
Just such a fearlessness to his style. The chin, of course, is held up every step of the way for him.
And now some nice body work from Ferguson.
Good sign for Dos Anjos to be doing the advancing here, late round 3. Big left for Dos Anjos.
RDA has definitely landed a lot more significant strikes in the second half of this fight. Both of these guys landing vicious now, but I think RDA's gotten himself and at least slowed some of the momentum of Tony Ferguson.
Really a Terminator quality, though, to Tony Ferguson. Eats these shots and just keeps moving forward.
But I'll tell you what, Rafael Dos Anjos got himself back in this round and closed it well. I thought that Rafael Dos Anjos started to get his timing. You know, certainly it's going to be hard for Dos Anjos to have stolen that third round. Ferguson was leading the dance and ahead for quite a significant amount of time, but I thought Dos Anjos started to get the timing, get his way back into the fight. Could maybe change the momentum here in round 4. But when you listen to the corners, Ferguson has a team of coaches he's been with for a long time. Very concise, good message on what they want him to do. No more taking unnecessary punches. Move your head. This is what they want him to do. Dos Anjos, it's several people hollering different points at him at a time. That's a hard message to absorb and adapt and make any changes or adjustments you need to in a fight. And again, this is the first time he's worked with that corner. Doesn't have fights and fights opportunity to be with those coaches.
Right eye of Dos Anjos continues to swell here. Under 4 minutes to go in round 4 of a possible fight.
Beautiful work there from Ferguson. It just shows his range. Such an awkward body type for 155 being as long as he is. And he was kind of leaning backwards and still landed that knee hard.
Well, he does not discriminate, man. Shoulders, elbows, knees. Doesn't matter. So accurate with all of his weapons as the fighters trade inside leg kicks here.
Yeah, and as he comes forward, kind of rolls his head through and through, switching stances, sometimes even mid-combination. You know, it's very rare he throws the same combination twice. There's him just being unorthodox, giving you something to think about. When he's having fun and he's smiling, that's when he's in the zone. Being creative. It's hard to stop.
And that nose becoming a real factor for Dos Anjos. You see him wipe the blood from it, the knee causing further damage just moments ago.
And the real key to me throughout this fight, the theme has been whoever's moving forward is the one winning the fight. Constantly changing stances. Southpaw, now back to righty, making him guess. Slips a punch. Nice jab there from Dos Anjos.
And a nice job covering up by Dos Anjos on the way out. Ooh, landed a big kick there.
There you go. Good level change. There you go. Good level change, team. Come on, Tony. Finish with that kick. Yeah. Stay light. Level changes. Level changes. There you go. Good body. He's getting desperate. Body.
Beautiful reaction by Ferguson as Dos Anjos tried to wrestle there for a minute.
You know, I wondered if Dos Anjos in the last 2 minutes of round 3 would start to change the momentum in this fight. He was finding his timing. Has not happened. Here in round 4, it's still Ferguson in a rhythm, outlanding him, pressing forward, and really starting to take over this fight. He dominated.
When Dos Anjos won the UFC lightweight title for the first time at UFC 185 against Anthony Pettis, took him down 9 times, 39 takedowns landed for Dos Anjos coming in, 9-2 in the UFC when he lands at least one, 0 for 4 unofficially tonight.
Yeah, when he's fought guys this long that are good, solid strikers, he's always been able to take them down consistently. Ferguson has won that battle, and now Dos Anjos not even looking for the takedown.
Dos Anjos really wearing it now, Bri. Just over 1 minute to go in round 4. Ferguson having fun, his corner's having fun.
What I like is you see how his head is always moving. Even when he's got his hands down, his head's always moving. Oh, nice body shot, but he ate a counter left from Dos Anjos.
Just remarkable how Ferguson's chin holds up with all of these big shots.
I tell you, man, he has a heck of a chin, and same with Dos Anjos. I mean, Dos Anjos has eaten, 143 total strikes landed for Tony Ferguson. Now that's body, head, leg, but that is a lot of strikes to land. That's more than heavyweights throw in their entire career in some cases.
Yeah, and it's more than 300 strikes have come out of the Tony Ferguson arsenal tonight.
And I mean, he's still going at a heck of a pace.
Final seconds of round 4. This fight living up to all the hype and then some. Dos Anjos paid for that shot there. So here it is, folks, 5th and final round. Stakes couldn't be much higher unless there was a belt on the line. Tony Ferguson in white, Rafael Dos Anjos in yellow. Just amazing that Ferguson hasn't been so much as wobbled.
I mean, he's eaten some big, big shots. Lots of body kicks, hasn't slowed down at all. Now you see him being careful though. They told him in his corner, as you pressure, don't get too high.
Dos Anjos one and done there. We'll see if he can get the aggression going again.
Well, when he's backing up, he can't plant his feet and throw the types of combinations we saw against Anthony Pettis and Donald Cerrone. And without the threat of his takedown, he can't stop the pressure. It's allowing Ferguson to continuously walk him down, yet still striking with a 6-inch reach advantage. Look at how Ferguson, he'll throw one punch, it'll be his rear hand, but then he'll switch. After he throws it, he walks through it, and now he's fighting it from southpaw stance. Ooh, big left hand there for Dos Anjos.
It's been there.
Man, Ferguson just rolls those punches so well, head constantly moving.
Ferguson has Dos Anjos backed up against the fence. Just over 3 minutes to go. Sharp body shot is there for Ferguson. Follows it up with a jab up top.
Quick left hand he's called for. He wants to center the octagon. He wants him to go toe to toe. Some fighters you see protect the lead. Most people would presume that Ferguson is probably ahead on the scorecard right now, not protecting his lead, marching forward and taking risks here against a former champion who's still very dangerous.
Well, and that's why Ferguson's fan base continues to grow. You see both of these guys landing a pretty good clip. 47% for Ferguson, 41% for Rafael Dos Anjos.
He gets touched and immediately returns.
See some serious damage now underneath that right eye of Rafael Dos Anjos.
And, there's two things that stop pressure: power and takedowns. The takedowns have failed, and he has the power, but they haven't been able to stop Ferguson. And he rolls with so many of the punches, and that takes away some of the impact, but some of them have caught him square, and he'll walk right through it and return fire.
There is something not human about Tony Ferguson at times, but you're right, the way he rolls with it to try to minimize the damage, it's a special thing. And look at Dos Anjos wearing it, man.
I mean, we've never, in his latest run, seen Dos Anjos lose like this. We have not. When he lost Eddie Alvarez, he got clipped with a right hook in the first round and finished. It wasn't a sustained performance like Tony Ferguson was able to put on here.
See the round 5 total strikes. Ferguson nearly doubling up on Rafael Dos Anjos. And in the past for Dos Anjos, if he could deal with his power, maybe he couldn't deal with his takedowns. Ferguson with a nasty combination.
And having more success in the pocket than I thought he would be able to. You know, most guys, when they're that long, they because of the length of their arms, they don't have the quickness inside the pocket. Not the case with Tony Ferguson. He keeps his arms very loose. He's got excellent hand speed for a guy with that kind of reach and range.
Ferguson closing as a slight underdog here tonight, less than a minute away from what would be the biggest win of his career if he gets it. Dos Anjos has had his moments.
Both of these guys so well prepared to go 25 minutes in this atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's been a factor in every other fight.
20 seconds!
Look at head moving, fire straight, excellent accuracy.
And he hasn't really lost a step.
No, he's been fighting the same pace for 25 minutes. That's something Dos Anjos is known for, was his pace and his outstanding cardio as well. Tremendous athlete. What a fight.
Stand and cheer, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Ferguson, Rafael Dos Anjos go the 25-minute distance tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges score this contest 48-47 for the winner by unanimous decision, Tony and Cucuy.